Hi, I'm Dick Cavett. Call up all your film buff friends and tell them to tune in right now because the Coen brothers, Joel and Ethan, are here, and they are the writing, producing, directing team behind Blood Simple, Raising Arizona, Miller's Crossing. Their latest film, Barton, Fink, won the Best Picture Award at the Cannes Film Festival. And with them is John Turturro, the highly praised, you couldn't praise him any higher, young star of the film. And he received the prize for Best Actor there, and all of this award-winning talent is right here in my studio for what can only be called a rare television appearance. Need I add that you're welcome. I've had nothing but nightmares about doing this show because everything I have read about the two Coens is usually headlined, "They hate to talk," or "They don't talk," or "they..." And you were talking right up until now. Uh-oh. I
what
see.
of it?
Okay, I waded into this. And then there's a piece, John, in which you refer to them as the yeah guys when they're directing. Can you enlighten me on that?
They talk.
Yeah?
Sometimes. Yeah. No. I just think that's sort of a...
But the kind of thing you probably, I gather, you don't like is a sort of heavy, intellectualized analysis of your films. But if I'm totally wrong about that, feel free.
No, it's just difficult sometimes because journalists think about the movie that you're, whatever movie you're promoting, in a different way than we do. I mean, as you say, a sort of heavy analysis, which isn't how we go about writing it or thinking about it when we're making it.
They expect, in a certain sense, for us to do their job for them. Yeah. You know, so they sort of, we make the movie and then they sort of take it apart, but they, in interviews frequently, they want us to take it apart for them, which is not sort of that interesting to us, really.
Well, they're puzzled by sometimes. By the way, I had a great time at Barton, Fink, and thank you for letting me see it.
Oh, good, thanks.
And I wondered when I left it if you ever do what I know one filmmaker does, which is hide under a table. Truly, I'll tell you later who it is, at a screening, and listen to comments. What do you like to hear when people come out? Have you ever done this?
Jeez.
No, well, actually, I haven't lurked around the sort of exits to screenings, you know, and tried to hear, but I have been guilty of, well, I went to a screening recently at the Museum of Modern Art where I left early and I was making a rather uncharitable remark about the film that I'd just seen, and the filmmaker had been hiding around the corner next to the elevator and sort of came out and introduced himself, which was really, it was very embarrassing. But I sort of figure if you want to, if you're going to lurk around the elevator after one of your screenings, you deserve to hear an unvarnished opinion of the movie.
Have you ever heard one that just went through you like a chilled arrow? Chilled arrow, I like that.
I'm trying to remember. I don't think, I mean, I can't think of one specifically. Yeah. We were at a focus group. It was sort of a test market screening in Dallas or Fort Worth, Texas for Raising Arizona right before it opened. And a woman came up to me. I was sitting in the back of the audience. The movie finished. Most of the people who were there to fill out the cards or whatever left. And I was trying to look unobtrusive in the back of the audience there, and a woman came up to me and she said, "Did you have something to do with this film?" She looked rather angry, so I wasn't sure quite what to say, and I said, I decided to sort of chicken out and take the go halfway, and I said, "Well, I wrote it." And she said, "Well, I just have to say you really captured, you really do understand the mentality of the Texas convict. I ought to know I spent 13 years in the penitentiary," which I thought was an interesting remark.
Do you tend to attract ex-cons? John, what was your old neighborhood like? People want to know what, you know, when an actor is as praised as you are, and just people talk about there's nothing the guy can't do and that kind of thing.
I came from, I would say, pretty regular, you know, middle-class background in Queens.
Yeah.
And I don't think anything out of the ordinary, except maybe my family was a little, you know, good at expressing themselves.
And you've avoided typecasting so far, which is a miracle. Nobody seeing Barton Fink would ever cast you if that was the only thing they'd seen you in.
Right.
In some of the earlier stuff you've done.
Well, thanks to certain people like Joel and Ethan who have given me opportunity to do different things. You know, you have to be given a chance, and then it's up to you to, you know, to be able to do that. But that's the reason, you know, I've wanted to be an actor, was not to do, you know, parts like where I came from, or play always guys from Queens or stuff like that. So I like to do different type of things, and that's the reason why I act.
Good enough reason. Let's take a look at a bit of Barton Fink right now. I just noticed something that didn't hit me during the film, and that is, maybe it's because of the size of the television screen, your resemblance to George S. Kaufman, a man you're all too young to have missed in that shot.
That was really their idea.
In a sense?
We saw, that was kind of the visual model for the character.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, we all happened to see a picture of him in the Times. Actually, it was a couple months before we started shooting, you know, with the stand-up hair and the glasses. And we thought, we all agreed he was pretty doofy looking.
He would not talk like that, though. I mean,
no,
he wasn't
as the man who was known as Groucho Marx's god.
Right. He was certainly not
the great wits of our time.
Not the pill that Barton is.
Yeah. Did you ever have anybody but John in mind for this part?
No, we wrote it for for John.
There are two contradictory things I read about. They say how carefully you write, how you don't want anybody to change dialogue, that this is not a set where you encourage everybody to improvise and just, as they say in that awful phrase, have fun with it. But on the other hand, they claim you don't know where you're going in making the films, and that you sometimes...
Well, actually, that's...
how are two things like this possible at the same time?
Well, one of them is, the second is a misunderstanding, actually, of the way we work. We often, I think when we originally that idea came from is a remark we made about the way we go about writing as opposed to the way we go about producing the film once we're on the set. When we're writing, we frequently don't know what direction the story is going to take. We don't do outlines, that sort of thing.
Can you, as they say, hold that thought while we have a break, and we'll be right back.